Welcome to What a Time to Be Alive, the only podcast counting down everything this week that made you say, what a time to be alive. And now, Patrick Monahan, Kath Barbadoro, and Eli Uden.
Folks, welcome to Time to Be Alive, the only podcast that counts down things each week and makes it things. Tell the podcast. I'm Patrick Monahan.
I'm Kath Barbadoro.
I'm Eli Uden. Hello, everyone.
Patty, are you okay? I feel like you sound asleep.
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. I'm doing great. Not hungover. None of those things are true.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was a hangover problem.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to call you out.
Beating the allegations here.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that it was a hangover and not being like, nothing's happening, nothing huge.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah. I'm glad it's a hangover and not, like, depression, you know?
No, I mean, I guess they're sort of the same type of thing, right? Isn't that a thing that happens?
It's so sad.
The silent
It's so
killer.
sad.
It's so sad.
It's my new thing, calling a lot of stuff the silent killer, no matter what it is.
Hangovers, the silent killer. Yeah.
Hangovers, the silent killer. Cholesterol, the silent killer. Drowning, the silent killer.
That's true.
That we're
Kind
all
of
in
true, yeah,
danger
because you
of.
can't yell because your lungs are full of water.
Yeah, but you can gurgle.
That's like the main thing they teach you when you learn how to be a lifeguard as a kid.
Yeah. That's
They're
my
like-
big tip would be gurgle louder or swim with a big red flag. That would be probably the best.
Yeah. Wave your
might be-
arms over your head, something that is definitely easy to do when you don't know how to swim.
Yeah. You guys ever almost drowned?
No, I don't think so.
I can't say that I have.
I did.
Oh, boy,
I have
let me
gotten,
tell you.
I have gotten caught in a riptide before, like
Well,
in the
that's-
ocean when they like
that's-
it starts to pull you out.
That's one of the main
How
things.
much caught? That's what happened to me, and then I almost drowned. I would not recommend it if you can
That's
avoid
scary.
it.
I felt it happening and knew right away what was happening and just swam like parallel to the shore to get out of it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was a oh no, I'm about to be caught in a riptide more than like actually getting caught in a riptide. But yeah, don't do it. So if you ever feel yourself getting pulled out to sea, swim parallel to the shore to get out of the riptide.
It's very embarrassing.
If you can.
the whole
Easier said than done, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
the process is the whole
Simply.
process is very embarrassing. I would highly recommend against it. First of all, you're drowning, which is unpleasant. I would say, and then
If you can avoid it, definitely do.
then you
famously unpleasant.
yeah, and then you gotta. This is a very orchestral cover of that. Then you got to lay on the beach with a bunch of guys around you, right after you almost drowned. Very embarrassing. You gotta
So
be like,
what
"It's
happened?
fine."
What were you? What was
Ocean City, Maryland, baby.
Okay,
The silent
age?
killer. I don't remember. It was a camp, so I was probably in middle teens.
Was this computer science camp?
No, you don't go in the water in some computer science.
It was
You
one of
go in the
Eli's
sun.
classic camps.
Yep. We love camps. Yeah, I went, and then there's a strong undertow. I didn't fully respect it, and before I knew it, I was out there. But I did have to get proper rescued, which is not fun. People had to come out and drag me back.
Oh, wow.
I was like, hey, thank you. Thank you.
Lifeguard forcing mouth to mouth on you. It's like, I can breathe. I'm talking right now.
I'm
you
conscious.
don't have
Oh, yeah. No lifeguard on duty, actually, which was, my parents are pretty mad at the
You
camp
assume the
people
risk.
for letting us swim without a lifeguard.
So how long was it pulling you out before you realized what was happening?
I just couldn't get back. I was swimming and then I was really tired, and at a certain point I ran out of energy, and I was like, I am transitioning from trying to get back to using my energy to yell and wave and try to get someone to get me in. Because I was it was strong enough under those, I was swimming to the point of exhaustion and was not any nearer shore. So I was like, time
So did
to...
you realize at some point oh shit, I'm way further out than I thought I was? Or were you just okay, time to go back, and then you couldn't go back?
Kind of time to go back, and I couldn't go back, but I wasn't it wasn't a thing where it was I can't see shore. It was just I couldn't get back.
Right.
Yeah. I couldn't get back. And I was kept swimming, and then I was just got to a point where mentally I was I have only a little more time before
this is a huge
I was just
problem.
I have to tread water, or I'm going to start fully
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm I don't...
Cheers to that.
I'm a fairly strong swimmer. I was on a swim team. I was a lifeguard and stuff. I don't fuck with the ocean in that way. I don't go. I very rarely am in a place in the ocean that is higher than lower chest deep. I'm not fucking with it. It's too strong, too scary. Don't like it.
Yeah, it was what was it? The sea was mighty that day. It was weird. I didn't feel like I was. I mean, maybe I was definitely back then was a little more of the like kid who was like, oh, let's go deep out to where the waves are and stuff. No longer.
Yeah, well, I've only seen the first half of The Prestige, but my understanding is that drowning is like it feels like going home. That's what Michael Caine tells Hugh Jackman, and yeah.
Maybe if your home is filled with water.
No, he says later in classic Michael Caine, it's agony. That's what he says. He says it like that. So it's not good. Drowning
What
is
was
not
the
fun.
word you just said?
Agony.
Yeah.
Agony. Okay.
Yeah.
You whispered it.
Well, he does it's the
He
Michael
does
Caine
it
thing.
Michael Caine voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which is his voice. He doesn't. I guess he doesn't do it in Michael Caine voice. He just says it, and he is Michael Caine.
You hit a certain age and stature, you just kind of dial up your own deal. You know?
Yeah,
That's
Cut
true,
it out,
yeah.
Michael Caine.
Which we can
you're
all-
landing on a little thick, man.
We could all aspire to.
Yeah.
You haven't given up on me yet, Alfred? Never. Yeah.
That was this is I guess the weekly now, like, hey, thing
Albert.
from Cracked or whatever. There was an experiment they did where they tried to see if they could teach a dolphin to talk by having it live in a house with a woman. They like half flooded
Yeah,
the
and then they
house.
like fell in love, right?
I mean, that's one way to describe it. I think it was very one-sided love. Dolphin kept
Well,
trying
yeah,
to fuck
sort
the
of
lady.
definitionally, I would.
Every day the dolphin would come back wearing a suit with no bottom half and carrying a briefcase from
Yep.
the office, and the woman would be...
Yeah.
Making
just-
him a delicious
Hi,
dinner
dear.
of raw fish. Hello. Dinner's almost ready.
The one I read was like the dolphin was like very much trying to engage in
right.
sexual relations, and she was like, "No, thank you." And then the dolphin was like, "I'm gonna bite you a lot." And then it
Insult
escalated to the
dolphin.
point where the dolphin just kept showing her the dolphin's genitals.
Sure.
And I guess at some point she gave up and jerked off the dolphin, and then they were like, "This study is over."
That sucks. That's not her fault.
Is
Like,
officially over. Dude, I was
what else is she supposed to do? I like justice for this woman. She was in an impossible situation.
No, I watched
Wow.
like a clip at least of a documentary with her.
Oh, it's
actually.
a lady.
Now that's right.
Good ad. And my sympathy dropped when I watched a documentary. I was like, oh, you are also extremely weird. Like she was definitely
Well, okay, but we don't know if she was that weird before this happened to her. I feel like that would make you very weird.
no, like she was in this thing
I mean,
where
she
she's
had to
like-
agree to this study, right? I mean, there's a
She's
certain
a
amount
weird.
of...
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm just
This
like,
is not... I assume this was done with some level of consent. Hey, lady.
what? I'd imagine
there's
this
a
is.
dolphin in here
lady,
now.
we flooded your house.
I'd imagine this is a scientist and not just a lady. Like
the lady.
they didn't just like find her.
Oh,
She didn't
it's
like
a lady.
pull.
Yeah.
She didn't pull a little tab off a flyer on a telephone pole with a phone number on it and get
gonna-
this job.
No, that's
You wanna
exactly what it
eventually
was.
Jerk off a dolphin. Hey, if you'd like to know the history of why we're all saying "it's a lady" and giggling, why don't you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/whatatimepod, and you'll be able to see our live commentary of Megan, the movie.
I like how you said that. Like, if you want to know the origin of this, go to our Patreon, where I guess the ladies' man is there. Like,
Hey,
Yeah.
Look.
where you
way.
can watch the movie The Ladies' Man, which is where that is from.
Maybe we
Yeah.
will. Look, if you subscribe, maybe you can force us to do a commentary for the
to
ladies' man.
post a ripped pirated
watch The
version
Ladies'
of The
Man.
Ladies' Man.
Yeah. You know, there's nothing I love more than watching a 320p version of the Ladies' Man with the DivX logo in the corner, baby. Woo! That's a
right.
weekend,
Oh,
brother.
it's a lady.
Yeah.
Get me on Daily Motion, watch the grainiest version of an old VHS that I can find. That's good stuff.
But no, check
The
out
only-
our
the-
Megan commentary track. Our
Yes.
Megan commentary track.
The only video on
Megan.
Dailymotion that is neither anime nor porno is
Ladies'
one
Man?
copy of The Ladies' Man.
No, it's an anime porno and then Russian people dying too. There's
Russian
all
people dying. There's
dying
also
on
a lot of really good old Japanese wrestling on there. So
Oh,
Yeah, I think
that
I think also the Pie Hell is on there as well. I don't think that's on YouTube.
Is
You
that
have
like
to
a
go to the
silent
dark
library
web.
situation?
Check
you have
out
to go to
Pie
the dark
Hell.
web to get Pie Hell. It's you have to
One of the funniest
open your
videos of
Tor
all
browser. Pie Hell rocks. It's very good.
I just want to mention this. I know that we are about to start to do numbers, but this Roadhouse remake, I don't know if you guys saw this. It's Jake Gyllenhaal is the Dalton guy.
Dalton wouldn't be in the UFC.
Yes. So they filmed part of it, and he's like weighing in at a UFC fight, and Jake Gyllenhaal looks great. He
looks fucking awesome. He looks great.
And I'm still willing to, look, I'll see this movie. I'm not gonna, it's based in like Key West or something, and it's hitting a lot of, pleasure centers for me. But I don't like this idea that Dalton is like a professional fighter. He's just like a guy who is he's in the bouncer circuit. That's Dalton's whole deal.
I can imagine. Oh, go ahead.
I'd argue it's the complete opposite, because in the movie, Dalton, like a UFC fighter by definition, unless it's just money, is like you enjoy fighting. Dalton's whole thing is that he does not enjoy fighting, or
Nobody
no longer
does
after he ripped that guy's throat out.
Yeah,
and then began to regret it.
He didn't want to do it.
Technique.
I feel like there could be some context where maybe like Dalton has fallen on hard times and he needs money or something, like where he's like very reluctantly putting his skills to use in a professional fighting situation. But the idea that he is like fully willingly a professional fighter is like seems to me very against the spirit of his character.
But also, if Dalton found himself in a money situation where he needed a job, one would think he would become a bouncer.
Right. Well, maybe in this situation, he's been like excommunicated from the bouncer community or something.
But yeah, excommunicated.
He's been blacklisted.
Man, you're waiting for a guy to approach him and creepily say, "I know you."
I mean, it's like, I don't know why they're remaking this movie, but
look,
I'm not against it.
It's got a lot of promise. Billy Magnuson has the potential to be an all-time. I assume he's going to be the guy that he has to fight or whatever. And Billy Magnuson is an all-time psycho. It it can do the crazy eyes if he needs to.
Yeah, he's good at being a psycho, but. Yeah, I don't know. I just like if it were just a different movie and not Roadhouse with these characters.
You could just make a different movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Just UFC fight movie.
Right.
Love Roadhouse. Have it right next to me. Have a Blu-ray copy of it that I bought, and then after I bought it, realized I have no way and have never had a way to play a Blu-ray.
I have a couple things on DVD
Don't you have a
and
PS4?
Blu-ray.
Digital. I have a PS5, bitch, but it's digital only. There's no slots at all.
Oh.
Nothing goes.
I own a couple things on DVD and Blu-ray just because, like, I'm worried that they won't be available to me in the future.
What are they?
I have no way of playing them.
Yeah,
but I just have them.
They're like books. What are you supposed to do with those? I don't know, but they look nice on my shelf.
What are the Kath? What do you own? What are your security owns?
I have to look through because I have all the Mr. shows because you don't have the commentary.
The Mr. Show.
I also have the Mr. Show right there.
The Mr. Show DVDs.
That was like I have it as well, and I think it's because on Amazon, like in like 2010 or whenever it was like $30 for like the whole thing, and I was like, "Yep, I'm absolutely getting this."
It's worth a buy. The DVD commentary of Mr. Show is basically like the invention of Comedy Bang Bang, like that. That's what that is. It's really good. Obviously, in the show is amazing. I have those. I have Nathan Barley, which is like really hard to find, and is like one of my favorite things ever. It's a Chris Morris, Charlie Brooker satire from like the early 2000s. It's great. It's on YouTube in like the worst quality ever, but I bought the DVDs. I have a couple other things. Those are the two that come to mind. But
yeah. I have Roadhouse, I have Fletch, Mr. Show, and then Mighty Boosh. I think that is it. Mighty Boosh keeps getting bounced around. It's hard to find as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like British stuff, like old British comedies from like my high school years. I feel like those are good hard media buys because like they will randomly go away. And
there's also a weird thing where the Mighty Boosh has like the scenes and stuff in it with the spirit of jazz of this guy, and he's like a skeleton, but then it kind of got blackfacey, and then I think a bunch of places pulled it, and I was like, let's talk about, or just pull that episode. I don't they like pulled the entire series offline.
Old Greg has been canceled.
Old Greg is probably not sensitive. That's a sketch as far as a sketch goes.
Eli loves watching.
You
old
know what?
Greg.
My new thing that I want to get, because someone pointed out that it is impossible to find, is Insomniac, the Dave Attell show.
Insomniac.
Yeah, I want
There's got to be
Insomniac.
a billion episodes of that too, right?
There's like 4 seasons and then a couple specials, and they're like so hard to find. They're not streaming anywhere, and they're so good.
Yeah,
Gotta get Insomniac.
Insomniac, I think, is like one of those shows that even is like I was like, I'm not supposed to watch that. Like I just like weirdly scared me as a younger, because I was like, oh wow, what is this?
This is the world past my bedtime. I'm not supposed to know about.
This is
I can't
Comedy
learn
Central
about it.
After Dark. What the heck? And then they were always advertising that it was uncensored, and I was like, are they allowed to do that?
He keeps the DVDs in the backpack he wears on stage.
Okay, I have realized that the first Google result for Old Greg is on dictionary.com. There's a dictionary.com entry for Old Greg, which I'm now questioning dictionary.com's status as an authority on things. Because if you go through, it's I guess it's a fictional characters dictionary, but I feel like there shouldn't be a dictionary entry for Old Greg. We don't need that. That's more of a Wikipedia.
Because everybody knows who he is.
Because we don't need to define him. He's undefinable.
Yeah, he's got a mix up.
There's how there's like the previous and next arrows on things like that. The previous is Nigel Thornberry, and the next is Oompa Loompa. So I'm not sure.
Probably not a lot of entries in this, if that's the previous and the after.
Right? I agree with that.
I'll tell you what. That one kid, the one Thornberry kid, should have been taken away from them. The crazy one. That was something bad was going on in that family. Flea? No, it's
voiced by Flea.
Oh,
Which is insane that they got Flea to just come in and be like. Blah, blah, blah.
Did they have like a feral child? Is that I haven't.
Yeah, they have a feral child named Donnie who is voiced by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for absolutely no reason, because he doesn't say words.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, if they were going to do that, they should have just gotten Kiedis, because he could have been like dooba dabba da.
He could have done the Anthony Kiedis scatting. Yeah, that actually would be really funny.
Yeah,
that would be really funny if they had a feral child who said, "Give it away, give it away, give it away now."
Oh yeah, sorry. He only knows how to. All he can do is scat. That's all he knows how to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we?
That's Danny California, Shelby. I know those drums.
Should we do numbers?
Pull wool over my eyes. Let's do it.
Number 5.
Number 5 comes to us from, drum roll please,
Why
can't
it's a guana helium cube.
It's a guana helium cube. Okay, thank you. Comes to us from Iguana Helium Cube in the Discord. If you would like to submit stories to have us talk about, you can join our Patreon at the $10 a month level, patreon.com/whatatimepod. You'll get access to our private Discord channels where you can submit stories like Iguana Helium Cube has. This comes from my home state of New Hampshire. This is a movie, I believe. 40 kids from the UK were on a ski trip to New Hampshire, which I have questions about, but we can go over those later.
Somebody did not do their research over there.
They're I'll get it. Anyway. So 40 kids from the UK, they went on a school ski trip to New Hampshire and are now stuck in the United States after the hotel where they were staying quote unquote destroyed their passports.
Yes.
41 of their passports were destroyed. So, okay, here we go. 42 students and 4 staff members, and 41 of their passports were destroyed. So, I'm blaming the one student who didn't get their passport destroyed. I think that's the culprit.
Or he's like the nerdy kid that's like, he's like, my mom said to put it in a fire safe envelope or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
The kid who would like, you go to some trip, like, you know, if you ever did like a trip out of the country or something, I mean, those are rare, whatever. And then you show the one kid who's like, who else has a money belt? And they're like, nobody, you fucking weirdo. We're not all strapping. We don't have classified documents.
My mom ran, she used to run trips to Europe for college students, because she like teaches art, so she'd like, you know, bring them to Europe and be like a museum guide and basically like
It wasn't through Saatchi, was it?
Huh?
Was it through Saatchi?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was through Perillo Tours. She worked for Mario Perillo.
But she would like bring students and basically like in exchange for doing this, she would get to go to Europe for free. And she said the amount of parents who would specifically bring up the movie Taken in their like concerns about the like what would happen to their kids was like mind-boggling to her. Like, we're going to Paris. Like, what? But they were like, my kid is going to get taken.
I mean, they get taken in Paris. What are you doing to prevent?
They did get taken to Paris. That is true.
Do you want cabs here are so damned expensive? Do you want to share? That's what the guy says, and then they get taken. Also, best thing about that movie is that they go to Europe to see a U2 concert. Two like teenage girls.
Teenage girls in like 2004 love U2.
They went. I think U2
we have to go see how to defuse an atomic bomb or whatever that album.
Shelby's lucky never got taken.
What's funny about that?
Following U2 on tour. Shelby's a two-head. Deep in the
those teenage girls just like they found it on their iPods and they just started going nuts for it.
Excuse me, it's how to dismantle an atomic bomb. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Here's my advice on how to dismantle an atomic bomb: don't leave it to the experts. Not your problem, you two.
They want to hear Vertigo live. They simply need to 1, 2, 3, 14.
Going abs isn't uno dos tres 14?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost as confusing. Almost as confusing as 1, 2, 3 14.
You're the idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, shout out to all the kids who wore money belts on trips. Good to have. Good to strap.
Okay, so how
$35.
You've never seen them live. You don't get it.
Live? I've never seen them live.
Pretty sure I've seen them
live music.
Have they been dead the whole time? Oh my god.
What happened?
How do you? Okay, so 41 passports got shredded.
Or something. It just says destroyed. We don't know what happened.
Difficult to like. It's hard to really come up with an accident that makes that possible.
Yeah. 41 passports got roasted by Jeff Ross in a Super Bowl commercial. Destroyed, wrecked.
Yep, decimated.
Who's that one comedian that like seems to only post those videos? The destroying hecklers, the redheaded guy, Steve Hofstetter.
Hofstetter,
yeah,
a classic.
Yeah. Hofstetter found these passports. The one thing you don't want to happen. Yeah. So they were supposed to go back on February 25th, and they're still stuck in New Hampshire. Apparently, I mean, this story's a couple days old, so maybe they're out now, but they've been stuck in New Hampshire. And I feel like the moral of this story is go to the better skiing closer to the UK. Don't come to New Hampshire where there's like
go to like the Alps.
Yeah, go to the Alps. Then you don't even need to bring your passport because you're in the Schengen area or whatever.
Stad.
Go find a stranger in the Alps. Go out there. I don't understand. Like, do they go to the like consulate? I mean, it feels like at this level, it's almost like I feel like if 41 passports get destroyed, it's easier than if one gets destroyed because you're just like, okay, the government needs to help right now. If it's one person, you're like, fuck, I'm gonna get you guys go back. I'll figure this out. 41 is just like, yes, call our ambassador. Like, call,
right?
Something happened.
Call a diplomat. We are in need here.
I just feel like knowing Northern New Hampshire, like. The owners of this hotel are like sovereign citizens or something and are like, we don't recognize these here. We need to get rid of these. Like
lost this war.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess if it's like kids, you would want the organizers of the trips to hold on to the passports, but like, just like you shouldn't have 41 passports all together at any time. Like that's just you're gonna like trip and fall and drop them into a crevasse or something. Like it's just too much value and like hassle in one small area. You shouldn't group them together like that.
It's almost, I think it's like, how old are these kids? Like a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of thing where it's it's very risky to have all those passports together, but it's also like, I don't trust a teenager with any like something about an important document. Teenagers are just like, oh, I left that in the pocket of some pants that weren't mine. It's like, what is going on with you? Why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I mean, I feel like justifiably I would probably not be trusted to hold on to my passport in this situation, but when I was that age. But it also is just like, you guys crossed an ocean to go to New Hampshire. Like, what? Why did you do this? Like, I love growing up there. I know where they went skiing. It's a place that I love to go skiing. I would not get on a plane for it.
Kath is not welcome back in New Hampshire.
I would not cross the Atlantic Ocean to go there. Let's just say that.
Even from England?
No.
Gotta give them some England hate. Get them roasted. Get on them, as we usually do. Yeah, I mean, it's a strange place for sure to go in a certain way.
Just go the extra couple hours and go to the Rocky Mountains or something. Like, why are you in New Hampshire at the end of February?
Spent the whole time complaining about not being able to get a proper bug pudding.
Yeah.
You might be able to get a proper bug pudding in upstate New Hampshire. Their food is pretty fucked up there.
How are we supposed to go skiing without a proper English breakfast? The fucking blood sausage and shit. Man. I watched a YouTube
This
video
food is hardly disgusting. How am I supposed to be?
I watched a YouTube video of waiter, there's no bugs in my pudding. What is this? What is this bug doing in my pudding?
Barely disgusting at all. What do you expect me to do?
I watched a YouTube video of British high schoolers trying biscuits and gravy for the first time, and I highly recommend watching it because it is like all of them realizing, except for two of them, which they seem like they're just like super British, and they're like, I don't know, they seem like I don't want to badmouth children or they're high schoolers, but they're like they seem like the sort of people would have like narked during the war. That's the vibe I get, like nationalist vibes.
Okay, wow.
I don't want to insult teenagers, but here's an incredibly heavy description.
Okay. Historical insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem, they seem like spies. No, but
Jesus.
they like. I don't
want to insult children, but
facetious.
they are Nazi collaborators.
God forbid I be facetious on a podcast.
The Vichy vacation.
Thing to say about children. Anyway, sorry.
High schoolers, they can take it. They've heard worse from their fellow kids, those cruel fellow children. But the rest of them are just like. You can actually watch them realizing that all the food they've ever had has been bad. Like it starts and they're like, like shitting on it or whatever. And they're like, these aren't biscuits because biscuits are cookies because they're fucking stupid or whatever.
I want cookies and gravy. That's what I thought I was getting.
Yeah. They're like, these are, and they don't say scone. They're like, these are scones. And I'm like, I hate it. But they do this. And then they're like the gravy, you're like, this isn't gravy. It's white or whatever. And they put it on, they all eat it. And they're like, stuff can taste like this. It's like it's so funny to watch them. Like one kid literally goes like, "This is the best thing I've ever had in my life," and it's like almost sad how much they're like. You like watch this stuff crumble in their head. And
did you see that Dear Prudie from this week about the parent who was really mad that her kid went over to his friend's house and the kid's friend's family was Indian and they fed him vindaloo and he like loved it and ate a ton of it, and the parents were like why didn't she call us first? Like she didn't ask if he could have spicy food. And like they were really upset, and everyone was like, man, condolences to that kid who just found out about flavors. Like that sucks.
Was it a bathroom situation? Was it like they were like, hey, why did you feed our kid 2 gallons of vindaloo and now he's destroyed all of our toilets? Send him back to us.
No,
why'd you load this bomb and then drop it back off at our house?
According to
the porcelain in our toilets.
Letter, it was literally just like he loved it, but they were still upset.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're gonna have to stop making him boiled chicken every night. Thanks a lot for that.
Their concern was that
this is a plot point in the 2022 horror film Nanny.
Okay.
Yeah.
They feed a kid spicy food. That's the horror. Yeah, no, it was just like this weird thing where they were like I remember the phrase they used in the article was that spicy food can be hard on quote unquote little tummies. And I was like, I hate you. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah. Like cats. Don't give cats Vindaloo. That's,
I guess not.
Not a good idea. They'll turn bright red and say, "Youch!" And they got to take.
Steam will come out of their ears. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it'll be like they'll make a sound like a train, like a steam whistle.
The steam whistle. Yeah.
And they'll start walking around. They'll start high kneeing around the room and going like that. That's all. These are all the things that'll happen if you feed your cat Vindaloo. So avoid it.
So don't do it.
If you can.
Meow. Anyway, I think these kids are still in New Hampshire, so get them out before they get radicalized to libertarianism, which will happen.
We're sending them aid.
We're sending them aid. The UN is coming in to keep peace.
Yeah, they've all been issued copies of Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, and it's only a matter of time.
This is happening pretty near to where those libertarians tried to start a libertarian town, and then their society completely fell apart because people wouldn't stop feeding bears.
Yeah.
You guys heard about this, right? That was a good...
There's a whole book that I've been meaning to read, but yes, I did. I read the story about it a while, but yeah.
They were like, you can't tell me not to feed bears. That's against libertarianism. And then bears destroyed their town.
Yeah.
Flying to the U.S. to see Galt's Gulch and finding out that it's not a real place. That's what
They were leaving out big bowls of Vindaloo for the bears. The spicy, angry bears absolutely destroyed their town. Unfortunate occurrence.
Folks, if you're enjoying this week's episode, you might also like our bonus episode available on our Patreon, patreon.com/whatatimepod. We do a bonus episode every week where we bring you some more stories and talk about fun stuff. Today on the bonus, we introduce Patty to Bob's Red Mill. Somehow he has missed the existence of this extremely ubiquitous company. Shocking.
We do a deep dive on the rules and regulations of the moon.
And we talk about what to do with Pablo Escobar's hippos. Maybe we didn't talk about this. Maybe they should put them on the moon.
Ooh.
Think about it.
Think about it.
They'd be lighter.
Check it out. What's for number 4?
Number 4.
Number 4 comes to us from Kate, supporter of dog suffrage. So, give dogs the vote. We've had enough.
Dogs should be able to vote.
And this is a story from Italy. Or no, I'm sorry. It's an Italian mob boss. Look, the story is mafia boss uses rope made of bed sheets, classic prison escape item, to escape a high security prison. And he did it in Sardinia, which is Italy. I wanted to just be doubly sure about that. I didn't know if it was. His name is, well, we're not going to name him, but he's the head of the Sacra Corona Unita Mafia, and he's on the run. And there's video of him using the bed sheets. And
you can't leave the bed sheets. Like, they shouldn't come off the bed. We know this.
That seems like a pretty clear. There's also other things you could do with bed sheets that you don't want prisoners to do, theoretically.
Exactly. There's quite a few things, and all of them involve tying them together to make a rope, which is... You think when that guy figured that out, he was like, nah, there's no way. That
Come on.
That's so obvious.
Right.
There's no way. And then he's like, well...
It's like, it's time to host
Classic,
a tug of war for all the prisoners. We're going to have a field day. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we've
Prisoner
got
field day.
We're having color wars out in the yard today. We need bed sheets and all this. Yeah, I mean, you got to tightly regulate the number of bed sheets. You know, you got to you can't just
give them one, I guess.
Yeah, you can't have a prisoner who every day is like, well, I wet the bed again. Don't worry. I took care of the sheets. I just need new ones, please.
Don't
Long
worry about
ones,
where they
preferably. Yeah. Hey,
do you think
California King sheets here?
I wonder if because he's like the boss, if he like convinced the other prisoners to like give him their sheets, you know? Or like maybe he had a contact in the laundry room or something.
Interesting. Yeah,
that could be it. Laundry room. That also sucks because you feel like laundry room classically is the job, the guy who's like, look, I'm just doing my time and getting out. I don't want any trouble. You're like, I'm just going to work in the laundry room. I'm going to do my fucking time. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm in a sheets scam. Like one of the big connected guys at the prison is like, we need you to smuggle us sheets. And you're like, I thought this was the one job.
Right.
People
I'm here because
I
I got too many DUIs and now I'm sober and I'm just trying to like start my life over and now I have to be involved in a sheet related escape.
Yeah, I can't get involved in this. I'm learning that the racism I embraced my whole life is wrong, and I'm coming to regret my huge swastika chest tattoo. Okay, that's what I'm doing in this laundry room right now.
Yeah,
I'm keeping to myself. I'm getting my GED, and I'm saving up for swastika tattoo removal. And what's the prison job where you feel like is you most get to mind your own business? I feel like maybe the library. Library's good.
Library's classic.
Yeah.
Because I guess
you're trying to like better yourself.
It's like people looking for trouble probably aren't even in the library. You know, like maybe maybe that's a guess.
Like the laundry and the kitchen to me, like the other thing about laundry is I feel like there could be some smuggling. You know, like there could be some because it's like you take from each cell and then you give stuff back to each prison area. So like I feel like there could be some nefarious activity with that. But I feel like library pretty solid choice.
Yeah, and library being like fully optional is also a key part of it, right? Like it's not Yeah,
there's no sustained silent reading. Nobody's forced to be in there. To see.
But I feel like you might also get like, because of like Shawshank, right? Because he runs the library in that. You might get some people who are aspiring escape artists or something,
They had to take all the books about escaping out of the prison library.
Walking into the prison library. Hey, do you guys have the blueprints of this prison here? Is that possible?
I love
you
rocks.
can't read The Count of Monte Cristo in prison.
The
Can I get a little hammer to help?
Remake would prove this to be false.
Can I get a little hammer and also a poster of Rita Hayworth, please? It's like, no, we've seen it. No. Hey.
You're not even allowed to watch Free Solo in prison. They're like, we can't have you climbing. We can't have you do it. We can't have you being in an extremely weird relationship with a woman who's obsessed with you and free climbing El Capitan. Man, that movie is a bummer. I feel like it was sold to me in a strange way. I feel like it's so inspiring. And I was like, this guy's weird and mean, but he is good at climbing.
I mean, he's really good at climbing. That is
top
there's
notch.
No arguing that.
One of the best, I would say. Yeah. If this guy had been a proficient free soloer, maybe wouldn't have had to go the bedsheet route. I can't believe.
That's like, did he? So I can't imagine this happening in any other way than like the classic tie it to the bedpost. Like, how did he get a window open? Like,
yeah, I mean, the video is like the video shows like he like. We don't have the whole thing, but it's like the security camera. He just like kind of falls from like 10 feet up and then starts sprinting away. So, yeah.
Tight.
It was a perimeter wall, so maybe they tossed it over. It also, if this is the rope in question, it's like a really high, it looks like way better than I thought it would. Maybe I was just imagining the classic, like not every couple feet. This thing looks...
Yeah, that's at least like the bare minimum is you should need like, half dozen sheets of length to, you know what I mean? Like every prison should be like really high up if you're gonna be doing that.
If you're gonna have open windows, which like kind of seems like number one thing you wouldn't want in prison architecture, but I guess like Sardinia, isn't that where? Oh no, that's Corsica that Napoleon's from, and then Elba. I just feel like it's an island where you put people who are exiled. So maybe they're like, it's enough that you're on Sardinia.
Yeah. That's, about like an Alcatraz thing where it's like, congrats on making it over the wall. Now you're just on an island.
I mean, Sardinia is pretty big, but yeah, that is kind of how I imagine it. I imagine it as being Alcatraz sized.
Yeah. There. Yeah, I mean...
It's definitely too far to swim anywhere except for, there's another island like right next to it, right above it. I don't know what it is.
Corsica?
Is it Corsica? Yes, it's Corsica. Yeah.
That's the one that's French and Sardinia is Italian. But But yeah, I think even that's like too far to swim. I think you're sunk if you want to get back to the mainland without being like smuggled out.
Yeah. But I'm sure this guy's done a lot of horrible things. I don't have the details here, but I feel
probably
like
he's a mob boss. Like I don't feel too sympathetic.
Yeah, probably wasn't just giving out candy to children. But
I would like to say that I am sympathetic in case he's listening.
In case he's listening, yes.
I think he's cool. I think he looks handsome in these pictures of him climbing over a wall.
I say molto bene is what I say to this.
But I feel like if you do the bed sheet thing and climb over a wall using bed sheets, I feel like you shouldn't even have your sentence extended or whatever. They should just be like, this is kind of our bad.
This is on us. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
what were you supposed to do?
Like, the guards should get in trouble. The guards should have to work as guards longer. Should have their sentence extended. Like, instead of being like, oh, he's a flight risk. He's like, yeah, anybody's a flight risk if they're in jail and you give them 10 fucking bed sheets.
Yeah.
Like, it's time, dude.
It's kind of the ingredients for flight.
Yeah.
It's prison entrapment.
It's
really
a crime of opportunity. Like, so I got 10 bed sheets. This is, if I ever had a chance, this is it. Over the wall. So,
aren't there places where they don't extend your sentence if you try to escape? I feel like there are places like that where it's just like, fair play. We assume you're all trying to do this at all times. So
yeah.
Kath is thinking of the most dangerous game, or if you escape, you
Mexico.
Mexico? They don't extend. I mean, people love to be escaping from Mexican prison.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the main thing I know about Mexican prisons is that people be escaping from them. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if they're going to have that as a thing where it's like, well, we can't charge you more because of course you want to escape, they should probably make them harder to escape from. I feel like that's also part of what you should do.
I also feel
this is my recommendation for the Mexican government.
Mexican prison seems like a difficult job to work at because I feel like that's in Mexico because of like the influence of like the fucking sicarios or not, is it sicarios or whatever? It's like, isn't that one of the countries that occasionally they're like, we've lost a prison, like we've lost one of them, like it's been taken and it's no longer ours. Doesn't that occasionally happen? Am I crazy?
I don't know if in Mexico, but like definitely like that was the whole thing with El Chapo, right? Is like he basically like was in charge of the prison where he was being held. And then the only reason he escaped is because he was worried he was going to get extradited. Like he was just chilling in prison willingly because it was easy to like run his business from there. And then he was like, I think I'm going to dip because I don't want to go to the U.S. And they just let him out pretty much.
Yeah. How did El Chapo escape? We let him out. We weren't supposed to, clearly.
Laundry, actually. Again, a laundry crime. They put him in a laundry cart and pushed him out.
Yeah. Hiding in a laundry cart, probably the most, why did I just forget the word? Thing you could like the most like quirky, cute thing you could do.
It is funny too because he's like a tiny little man, so it is like very cute.
It's gotta help too.
Put the tiny little man in the laundry cart and then rolled him out.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't think El Chapo would be known as nearly as much of an escape artist if he was like 6'8". It'd be a lot harder. I mean,
be harder.
We just talked about they're just letting him out, but still,
they smuggled him out in someone's shirt pocket.
Yeah, I don't think he's really an escape artist. They put him in an M&M's mini tube.
Going to see famous escape artist El Chapo, where he pays someone to let him out of handcuffs on stage.
Yeah.
One of his associates
he's not really an
lets him
escape
out of
artist.
his
He just
handcuffs.
has a lot of money. I think it's
They put him in a tank of water, and then one of his associates shatters the tank, and El Chapo is escaped. The great Houdini.
Yeah, he has a lot of money and also the ability to make good on threats. Those are two key assets.
Yeah, really the ingredients of an incredible escape artist. A truly gifted little man.
Should we do number 3?
Let's do number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3 comes to us from Bookmark 19 in the Discord. This is a local story for those of us on the podcast. I don't know how long this sign has been up, but there's a highway that goes through Queens and a little bit of Brooklyn called the Jackie Robinson Parkway. And somebody found a sign in Queens. I'm going to see if I can figure out exactly where it is. There's a picture of it, of course, in the New York Post. Myrtle Ave and Forest Park Drive. There's a sign that says Jackie Robinson Parkway. No C. Jakie. Jackie Robinson Parkway.
Jakey.
Gotta go see Jackie Robinson play.
Really strange. There's like a picture of him on the sign. Like it is like it's not like a temporary construction type sign. It's like they printed it up. There's a picture of Jackie Robinson batting on it, and yet it says Jackie Robinson Parkway. So they done fucked up.
Jackie Jorp Jump.
Jackie Jorp Jump. Jackie Jorp Jump Parkway.
It's like it's a picture of Jackie Robinson, but it's like one of those ones people do on Twitter where they Photoshop it slightly, and then everybody's like, "Is this real?" You know, like is this guy's head 2 feet tall? It's like, no, it's been edited slightly.
Is this real?
The New York Department of Transportation has cited the Mandela effect. I totally thought it was Jakey this whole time. What do you mean?
Yeah, Jakey Berenstain? Come on, that's the guy. Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those things like. Everybody realizes how common and like easy it is to make a typo, but it's just like how does this happen all the time? Like, you know, like especially road signs. It's like whenever I see one like that, I just want to be like, how many people? What's the workflow here? How many people have to go through this before it goes up? Like
I think about this a lot with like tattoos because like it's actually. Shockingly, like I feel like most people who have been tattooing for a long time will cop to like I've misspelled something before, like just that kind of thing where I don't know. I don't think I'm the most
ma'am. What?
I don't think I'm the most detail oriented person on earth, but I just feel like with stuff like that or like printing a sign. I don't know, like. I guess if you work in the print shop, you're just like, well, it's not my job to. It's like the 30 Rock with Frasier, where they keep getting the misspelled cakes.
I would know. I'm Frasier.
Scam Carvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should say, Happy Birthday, Frasier. Frasier? Yes, Frasier. Are you sure? I should know. I'm Frasier. Very good.
Yeah. Like, another thing here, if you get to, is like, this is a full-on metal, like traffic sign. It's not like some sort of promotional thing. It's like the tin
sign that Patty would have in his bedroom as a child.
The other thing here that makes it even funnier to me is that with this, like, and I have to assume for some like street signs, usually like the fonts and sizes are standardized. There is not enough space on this sign to say Jackie Robinson, which sort of makes me think like someone's like, I'm just going to put Jakey because I don't want to get another sign. Like,
it's like, well, okay, the C and the K. They'll get the point if we cut this.
They'll know who it is. There's a picture of him.
Right.
It's a street sign like when you try to do like a science fair project as a kid on a sandwich board or whatever, or on one of those boards, presentation board. And it's like Jackie Rob, and then the SON is like super small and like crammed in. Where you're like,
started writing too big.
I saw a good
Jackie Robinson.
I saw a good piece of It was on TikTok. It was some art historian, and it was like vandalism from ancient Greece, and it was like Leolas is handsome, and it like went around this corner because he didn't have enough room to write all of is handsome, and it's just like everything about this is so like people have been the same forever. Like we've just been exactly the same, writing that we are handsome on a piece of ancient marble and not having enough room. Yeah, very good.
You think running out of space with a marker is bad? Imagine chiseling half
exactly.
half a word.
You're like, sunk.
Ooh, made the V/5s too big. This is not good. Do you imagine how annoying it would be to fuck up a number in Roman numerals? Because you can't just. You're like, oh. God, now a fucking L is in here. Oh, Jesus Christ. I fucked this up so bad. Man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
think it's 49 and then it's 50 and you're like, this is a mess. I just got to break this piece of marble.
Also, if you want to be humbled as an adult who thinks that they're pretty, whatever, good at spelling, detail oriented or whatever. I mean, I got 2 spelling bee trophies on my shelf at home. Don't you worry. Write something that has the word Mississippi in it more than a couple times, and you will think you are going insane. It is
personally, I would have no problem with that. I would do it easily.
I do it on stream. Next stream, Kath writes the word Mississippi repeatedly.
MISSISSIPPI. It's very easy.
Wrong.
What?
MIS. There's MISSISSIPPI, right?
MISSISSIPPI. Okay. That is correct.
Yeah, no, you did it right.
I'm doing it right.
You're doing it right. You're just saying it weird.
Well, I'm saying it in a way that's memorable. So
Kath is lashing out.
now who's the fool?
You speak weird. Incorrect.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Right. That's right.
Sorry. I don't know why I'm so hostile today. I apologize.
Wrong, Mississippi.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. This is, you know, we got to keep the focus on Jakey Robinson, the great Jake. I mean, it will make it more memorable. It'll be like it is a classic. I love how much it's like the kind of thing that would really help with directions, where it's like, okay, once you see a sign that says Jakey Robinson, that's where you turn. Yeah. Like it's very helpful.
I used to live right by Ebbets Field. I lived like basically across the street from where the old Ebbets Field was for a couple years. And there's a really awful mural featuring Jackie Robinson where like I feel like the picture on the mural is of Jakey Robinson. Like they should put that shitty mural picture on this sign because that's who they drew. They did not draw Jackie Robinson. It's a incredibly disrespectful memorial.
There's a lot. Yeah, I would say Brooklyn has a good share of like murals, especially memorial murals, where you're like, I want to do a second pass on that person. That is not super recognizable or flattering, but you know, that's good. I'm sure. I guess they'll fix. Are they going to fix it? Kind of feels like they might just be like, "Isn't this funny now?" We're not going to do anything about it.
I feel like probably Jackie Robinson's descendants would not be crazy about that.
His wife, who is still alive.
That's crazy, yeah, to think about how like not that long ago this was that his wife is still alive. Oh yeah, pretty nuts.
Isn't this funny? It's social media is buzzing. You're trending.
You're trending. Congrats.
All press is good press. Finally, people are talking about Jackie Robinson. Got him the clout he needed.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they say like they apologized, but I don't know if they said anything about
sorry.
Our bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll go in like someone's house, you know. Like when they get rid of this sign, it will be commemorated in some way.
Yeah. You know, I'm not even a big baseball fan. I would enjoy having the Jakey Robinson sign.
Yeah,
it's funny too, because like even if it's not a famous celebrity, you'd think when someone's like, you get any name that's Jakey, and you're like, is this right? Because this is not.
Yeah, that's
something
not like
a lot of
name.
people say. Seems strange. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Hello.
Do number two.
Number two.
Number two. This comes to us from Bookmark19 in the Discord. This is a story. This throws me back to my dog walking days, my cat taking care of days. This is good news for an Olympian who, as they were in trouble because they failed a doping test. They went and did a doping test. It was supposed to be sanctioned for 4 years because minute traces of a banned substance showed up in her system. So they looked into it, and
what's the substance?
I don't even know.
Does it say?
Like they just say banned substance. They'll never say what it is. I don't know if it's because they protect what's banned but like any sports thing, they just say a banned substance. And it does seem like it's confusing because a lot of athletes are always like, yeah, it turns out the pancake mix I use has like something in it. Like it's just, they have so many weird.
It's a banned substance.
Okay, here.
It's cum.
You have to be celibate as a cyclist. It's one of the rules. Yeah. It's because, you know, those tiny seats, it all has to be very closely controlled. Okay, here it is. A substance called caprimorolin. Trace amount, 0.07 billionths of a gram per milliliter of a substance called caprimorolin had shown up in her urine. It's they said it's a very, very small amount, but it's enough to trigger, a finding. And also, this is, I think, why they have so many, maybe this is like why they have so many problems with people having weird fails of doping tests. They say, though caprimorolin isn't specifically mentioned on the banned list, if it's not mentioned, it's not banned. Like, you can't just be like, this is banned, we just didn't tell you. That's not how it works. Yeah. They go, they're like, it falls in the category of other prohibited substances that are related to human growth hormones. So maybe it's like an indicator that someone used HGH. So again, this is something that apparently it's not that uncommon because they've also had one before where an over-the-counter sunscreen made people test positive. So it's like, I think you need to work on your tests. If you're banning people for 4 fucking years, you need to have better tests. But this one specifically, they found that the caprimorelin, it came from a medicine called Entice. Now, Entice
Caprimorelin, by the way, sounds like a village in Scotland or something.
It kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, caprimorelin. It overlooks a nice a series of crashing waves on rocks.
Exactly.
Soothing.
There's like a moor you can go out on outside of it. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys see the Banshees of Caprimorelin? Great movie. Entice. Now, Entice is not a medicine for humans. Entice, which has a funny name,
is it like a boner pill? Like Entice is a weird.
It does sound like a boner pill. It is the word entice spelled with a Y. And so
a boner pill for dogs, exactly what you want.
I haven't seen my man's red rocket in a little while. Look, I've told you that one of a memory that just is going to be with me forever was when we had just gotten our new dog when I was younger, and my mom brought him to school to meet my friends, and I walked out of my class, and he was sitting there with the fucking biggest dog boner I had ever seen, and I was just like, actually my friends don't need to meet Max right now, because his big red dick is out. It's kind of embarrassing. Anyways, just a memory that I have. Entice with a Y is a medicine for dogs. Given
dog steroids
of sick dogs. It's a medicine for dogs to be really good at cycling.
Yeah, that's the thing. See,
okay,
if it works on dogs, it must work on a human.
If they made a medicine that made dogs really good at riding bicycles, I would want that medicine to be free and mandatory for all. That's a great medicine. That's a medical miracle. It would make all our lives better.
Yeah. What are they using down at the circus? Bad stuff.
Like
probably.
Kermit.
Like Kermit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. At the circus, they're using beating the shit out of the animals.
Yeah.
That famous solution. Corporal punishment. So this cyclist, they're like, okay, you tested positive or something. And I guess she was like, I don't know what the fuck. And then she figured out and she goes, hey, I give my dog this medicine. And my dog fucking hates the medicine and fights me when I give to them, and it gets fucking all over me. Is that maybe what did it?
Listen, I live a war every day.
Yeah.
Could that possibly be what's causing this?
Yeah. She says, they got on her skin during the messy struggle she faced forcing medicine drops down the throat of her ailing dog, Ruby.
Ruby.
And so she's like, yeah, I got this shit all over me. Is that possible? And so they were like, well, which is almost nicer than they usually are. They usually are like, sure, shut up. No bikes for 4 years. They were like, we'll test it. And so then the scientists took the Entice, which is a very sexy name. Don't like saying it now.
The scientists took it. They actually ingested it.
Yeah. Now the scientists are
There's only one way to know.
Yeah.
We're gonna hide this pill in we're gonna wrap it up in a piece of cheese and eat it.
Yeah. That's what they do when they give an injection, they put the syringe through a piece of cheese and then inject it. It makes the dog calmer. So they did try it, and they're like, all right. And they dripped this stuff on their own skin, and then they all started testing positive within days. So they're like, it does look like your fucking medical fight with your dog is what made you test positive for this.
So they're letting her back in, right?
Yeah. And it's
nice.
So here's another, like, this is maybe why she got a little more leeway or whatever. She was the president of the Athletes Commission for the International Cycling Federation. So it's like, yeah, I don't think that person's doping, probably. I mean, who knows? Because wasn't Lance Armstrong doping?
Perfect crime.
Yeah.
My God. One ball and doping, the Armstrong story. So she was, they suspended her from her sport and her spot as the president of Athletes Commission. Also, like, when you're an athlete like that, getting like a 4-year suspension because you're not, like your prime is quite short.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
For you to actually compete,
that's a really long time.
Massive amount of time. Like,
but they reinstated her, right?
Yeah. And once they went through here, they were like, okay, oh, all right. So never mind. There's bad news about the dog. I'm just not going to share because I'm mad that AP shared it with me. So who gives why would you tell me that?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
It is sad. Yeah.
The bad news is the dog is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Why did the AP tell us this?
Yeah. The dog has said some very questionable things. Yeah, and this basically seems to be a thing where it's like they're kind of using this also to be like, yeah, maybe you guys should raise the thresholds for these sort of, which I guess also people find ways to get around it. It'd be funny if every cyclist now had to get a dog so that they could be like, well, I was fighting with my dog. My dog also needs to eat pills.
My dog has to take human growth hormone every day.
My dog, he's so small. Doctor, please. Yeah.
Oh no, we're fresh out of dog growth hormone. Perhaps the substitute will work.
Yeah. Well, we've never given a dog human growth hormone before. Smash cut to like David Cronenberg style. Just like, kill me.
My dog is simply not powerful enough.
Yeah. Well, my dog now has Peyton Manning's forehead and it wants me to kill it. So that's a big fail on the human growth hormone for dog experiments. Yeah, so outside of everybody but the dog, this seems to have worked out. She's been reinstated. She can cycle to her heart's content.
Steroid cycle.
Yeah. I can't tell if it's a stock photo or if she's actually like a mountain biker, in which case, cool.
Oh, she's cycling all right.
That is the best thing. The invention of the GoPro, I highly recommend, just if you're feeling down, watch those like, when really good mountain bikers do it, it's so thrilling because I would never do that because I would break all the bones of my body and shatter into a puddle. But you're like, man, it's almost like I'm there. Check that out. It's my recommendation.
Cool. Should we do number 1?
Let's do it.
And this week's number 1 reason to say what a time to be alive.
Number 1 comes to us from Call Me Ish Mussy in the Discord. And it's just read the headline here. Mexican president posts photo of what he claims is an elf. So there's an elf out there, allegedly. This is the president of Mexico posted on Twitter a photo of something in a tree with glowing eyes.
Oh, this is full leprechaun shit.
It's who else seen the leprechaun say "see"? Yeah, it's that level. It's very good.
Oh my god!
So it's out there, and
there's like a specific type of elf. He says it is. There's like a Mayan. Every culture, every mythology has their own like elf, and like there's a Mayan one, and he's like, that's what this is.
Left in isolation, any human civilization will create the elf.
We'll come up with an elf. Yeah, it's called an aluxis. Yeah, aluxe. He says it's a aluxe. It is. It's pretty funny. I like that Twitter has added some disclaimers about how this probably isn't an elf.
Oh, good to know.
Is that
bullshit?
Community notes.
Yeah, community notes. The first image, which is the one of the elf in the tree, the first image is at least 2 years old and was not taken recently, as this tweet suggests. So they're not saying it's not an elf. They're just saying the elf has been around for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry to shatter anyone's dreams here. Elves are real, but we haven't seen them recently.
We haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
The last known photo of an elf.
I do love the specific wording of this in our notes doc, which is just the president of Mexico saw an elf, which whenever I read that, in my mind, I hear a telegraph going. It's just like a bullet, like
President of Mexico sees elf.
Just pulling out one of those long strips of paper, like the president of Mexico saw an elf. Elves are real.
Extra.
Yeah. I do feel like that doesn't quite describe what it is too, because that just makes it sound like he was like, I have something to tell you all. I saw an elf. Yeah. I swear. As the president of Mexico, I swear to you,
doing a prime time address. Like, I mean, if saw an elf and knew it was an elf, your life would change. Like there would be a before and after seeing the elf. It's like there's other things out there.
You would call a press conference. Like it would be like
it would like ruin your life. You would like get divorced because all you want to do is devote time to the idea of the elf and other elves, and they would just be like, you have to go to work tomorrow. You can't.
Let
it's like,
go of this
how am I
elf
supposed to
thing.
go to sit in an office? There's elves. I gotta come on.
Yeah, it's like
I gotta go to the woods.
I gotta go to the woods. I cannot sit in this Zoom meeting. I need to go to the woods.
We are all here acting like no one has seen an elf. And I feel like that's crazy. No,
like things would happen to like the global economy. I don't know what, but like things
cookie
would
stocks
happen.
would skyrocket. They're real. Keebler would be investigated. Are they really using elf labor?
It's time to put them to work.
Elves would be used as labor immediately.
Instantly.
That's right.
They seem to enjoy it in the tales, but I'm sure that's just what they'd tell us. They love to cobble and shit. But that's the part of like that's the thing. It's like whenever those one of those Discovery Channel shows or whatever, it's like, did we find Bigfoot 10-part series? And I'm like, well, I bet you didn't, because I think we would have heard about it if you actually
we would know.
found the Bigfoot.
In the time it took you to produce this documentary, people would
would probably have heard
discussed
about
it.
the existence of a mythical creature. Probably would have gotten picked up by some sort of newswire. And an elf, I feel like if there's one thing that's got to be real, that's like a pretty good one. I guess they're a little mischievous, but
it seems like it would be easier for them to hide than a Bigfoot, for example. Mm-hmm. Like if something's going to exist that we don't know about, it's probably going to be small and not big.
Yeah, it would draw the veracity of everyone's children into question. There could be many changelings among us.
That's
would be
true.
a problem.
There would be a big changeling panic. It'd be a problem.
Is Legolas real? Lots of questions.
Right, like what kind of elves? Well, that's the thing is like a Legolas elf can't hide because he's big.
Just like a little guy.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
I think this the Mayan Aluxe is like it looks like something that could hide. It's a little guy in a tree. He has like a white bob. This elf, I would say.
It looks like Danny DeVito from Always Sunny when he's in the art gallery.
That's right.
Bullshit.
That's proof of the existence of elves.
I mean, they're supposed to be mischievous too, so like they would be, kind of being like, "Hey, I'm here, but also I'm not going to appear for anyone else, just so you seem crazy."
Yeah.
Jokes on you, President of Mexico. That's who I'm going to appear to, just to ruin his life and political career.
Yeah. There's also they say here that it's like kind of interchangeable, I guess, like Alexe or Duende are like for elf or goblin, that's a big turn. That's a press conference you have. Where it's like, we have discovered what is either an elf or a goblin.
Yeah.
Updates to follow.
These are orders of magnitude different, right? I am aware that elves exist, or I saw a goblin. It's like, okay. I mean, if you saw that would like if you 100% saw like a little green goblin running around and like you are convinced that what you saw was real, that would ruin your life.
You saw a little Willem Dafoe
completely.
running around.
You like it would not change things for the positive.
It would ruin your life because you'd be like, I saw like you can't, what are you going to not tell people? Like you're going to tell you tell one person, they'll be like, okay, you're insane.
Well,
goblins.
I'm sorry. I see that. I tell my doctor.
You're gonna get institutionalized. You're like, the goblin's in here, and you'd be like,
if I'm seeing a goblin, I probably need to be institutionalized. I'm not gonna. I don't know, man. I see a little green guy running around. Yeah. I got bigger problems.
He said he'd be having that. I don't know.
I do recommend reading up on the Kentucky Goblins because it's a great phrase, but those are fun.
It's my favorite minor league baseball team.
The Kentucky that would be a genuinely, because it's like a local tale. That would be a great fucking baseball name.
I feel like there's at least one minor league baseball team that like either uses a mascot or team name that's like based on like local legendary cryptids, and that's fun.
The Montgomery Biscuits. The ancient tale of the biscuit.
Yeah, the sentient biscuit who
the
was
West Virginia
looking for
Mothmans.
revenge.
Yeah, but Kentucky, there's a series called Hellier on YouTube that you can watch about the Kentucky goblins. And about one episode in, you're like, whoa, these guys found goblins, whatever. I mean, you're not really like that. And then pretty quickly, you're like, oh, these people are mega weird. But it's still fun to watch them try to prove that there are goblins in a cave system in Kentucky.
They found goblins?
Caves would be a good place for them to be. Lots of caves in Mexico, too. So maybe that's where
that's kind of what the things in The Descent are. They're kind of like a goblin-esque, creature.
I would say so. They're like an evolved form of a golem.
Yeah.
They're like a jacked golem. A golem that has taken Entice.
You give a golem a moonstone.
Put one of those guys on a bike. Look out.
Yeah.
We're wrapping all the stories together into one neat package right at the end.
I do feel like, in his defense, the president of Mexico was sort of speaking allegorically about Mayan mythology and not saying, here is evidence that elves exist.
Right. Because he didn't see it. It was like a picture he got from someone else. It turns out it was from 2 years before,
Yeah, that's the difficulty.
Excuse me, sir. And you just hand him a picture of an elf.
Sir,
where did he come across this?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
You just got to think it's like
this photo just came across my desk.
Yeah.
Going to
Today's
the
press briefing included this photo.
Go to the skiff to see a picture of a goblin in a tree. Yeah, I mean, I think that you got to know that, though. Like, I don't know if he has a speechwriter or whatever. It's like, look, I see just at one moment in here, you do mention that you think you saw an elf. I'm going to tell you that's going to be kind of the biggest thing about whatever you're saying. You're like, doesn't really matter what else you're talking about.
Be prepared for follow-up questions about this particular point.
Yeah.
We need to prep you.
If you declared war and then also said that you saw an elf, it would be like 50-50 war elf coverage. It would be a pretty big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I want to see an elf now. I do not want to see a goblin. I don't know
if I want to see an elf because I agree with Patty. I think it would ruin my life. It would alter the course of my life.
It would become your main thing.
I'd say take me with you. But their houses would be far too small. It would not work.
It would be like your Chiron on the local news would be like, saw an elf.
Forever.
Right.
Yeah. That's my credit. Saw an elf. Hey, do you have any credits? I saw an elf.
That's pretty good.
That is a good credit. I saw an elf
Laughs
once.
on Fox, saw an elf. Yeah,
well, it's like that story we did about the guy from the Walkman getting someone else's mail, where it's like, why aren't they mentioning that he's in the Walkman? It would be anytime you get on TV or something, it'd be like, why aren't they mentioning that he saw an elf?
Right. He's very open about this.
Part of this.
The biggest thing about him.
His main thing.
Yeah.
Like being doing your testimony as you're preparing to be confirmed, like your confirmation hearing for a cabinet position, and it's like I see here in 2017 you posted that you saw an elf. Can you please elaborate on that?
It would suck too, because understandably you would never shut up about seeing the elf.
Right.
Thank you, Senator. Yes.
Your friends that had known you for a long time would be like he's always talking about the elf, but the thing it was like 1 second. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's for
perfect
sure crazy
nominee for the Supreme Court, totally qualified, but then is convinced that they saw an elf, and it's like, well, we can't do this. We can't have this person who thinks they saw an elf.
We cannot confirm.
Yeah. This is all. I'm trying not to just recite. I did a sketch once that was about a book club where one lady saw a ghost and then just kept being like, I can't talk about books today. All right? We can all sit here like I didn't see a ghost. Very good. Hallie Haas is very funny, and she's in it. Yeah. Damn, I want to see an elf now. This has changed my life for the worse, because I'm probably not going to see one.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I know they're out there, and if I don't see one, I'm going to self-harm.
How do you get one? You leave a baby in the woods?
You gotta leave a baby in the woods, I think.
Yeah.
That's one way.
How to get an elf.
Put a
the
baby
drawings
under
in that one would be good.
How to trap an elf.
Oh, a little baby under a cardboard box with a stick on it. Time to swap it out for one of my own children.
Okay, the first result here is elf on a shelf trap, which is no good. We're not doing that.
No.
How dare you?
I feel like elves don't come out because of elf on a shelf. They were like ready to reveal themselves to us, and then they saw Elf on the Shelf, and they were like, "Fuck these people.
Right.
We don't want anything to do with."
Elf on a Shelf needs to get the Sonny from The Godfather treatment. You know,
yeah,
just
it's like
complete.
Elf. It's like Elf blackface to them. Like they're like really offended by it. Really
Elf
don't like it.
Yeah, Elf on a Shelf is way like everyone knows it's creepy, but the actual design of it, I feel, is like for something that was made in a modern time, they really grabbed the design straight from like your oldest aunt's attic. Like it's
like a terrifying German folktale.
Yeah, it's like such a little nasty little porcelain looking man that I just glad not to be involved with it. Mensch on a bench, not much better. But
I mean, that's the thing that's fucked up is like it started in 2005, but yeah, you're right, because it like borrows all these old looking like features. It like feels like it's old.
People think it's old. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
It's preloaded with like decades of tradition that are completely unearned and fake. And it's like those Salt Life stickers that are everywhere. I think that's like a thing that somebody changed something in the past and it is not organic and it just
didn't
immediately
that guy
popped
like
up.
Recently do something insane?
The founder, who is no longer involved with the company or something, yes, he like killed somebody or something. So we don't have to get into that.
Let's
he
do
committed
plugs, maybe.
murder most foul or something.
Killed somebody in a hotel room or something. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh God.
On that note,
he saw and killed an elf.
He took out an elf with a mounted
you see
gun.
a Salt Life sticker, you're like, did you know the guy who founded this company saw an elf?
Yeah.
What?
Prove he didn't.
We need to end this episode.
Oh.
Have you seen an elf? Send us an email.
Become a subscriber at patreon.com/whatatimepod for weekly bonus episodes and much more. And head to whatatimepod.com/links for our merch store, Discord, and more. Follow Patty, Kath, and Eli on Twitter and Instagram at PattyMo, at Kath Barbadoro, and at Eli Uden. And check out Kath's other podcasts, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters, wherever you get your podcasts. Only one of us was able to get booked on a stand-up show this week. Find out who in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I have shows in Austin at the end of March, and I would really love if listeners could come to them. I'm doing a Choose Your Own Master Pancake on Wednesday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Alamo. You can get tickets at the Alamo Drafthouse website. I'm doing 3 headlining comedy shows at the Velveeta Room, 1 Friday and 2 Saturday. Go to thevelveetaroom.com for tickets to those. Check my social media for more info. It's going to be really fun. Please come. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
I want to take issue with that thing. It's not like I was trying to get booked on stand-up shows. I wasn't like out there sending out Facebook messages.
How many variations do we have on that?
Only
like
one
a
of us
little
was able,
hurtful.
despite our efforts. Like, okay, hang
Yeah.
on. I made no efforts to get booked on stand-up shows this week, so let's be very clear about that.
Very hurtful.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.